to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
Hi there, folks. I'm Dan Hollifield, and welcome to Last Man Standing. I apologize to anybody that is trying to watch us on Facebook tonight because StreamYard and Facebook are not getting along. So we shall just go ahead with the two YouTube channels that we are being recorded to at this moment in time. And yeah, I'm sorry, folks. You'll just have to look that up on the YouTube channel. So here we go. With me tonight, I've got Aunt Donna. I've got Emily. We may or may not have Dawn, depending on how tired she is once she gets
It's the girls'
home.
club.
Hey, I'm not going to object. Do I look stupid?
No.
Oh, and Thesis
Not
is
at the moment.
Thesis is with us in the chat. So I will remember the word eventually. It's not like I've got aphasia all the time. Just when I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, I'm not speaking to Dawn.
Because she got to go see the comedy and you didn't?
Oh.
Of course, it's my own fault. I was too Scottish to pay the price.
These things, they do happen.
But why do these things happen to us?
Well, by the time I got on the site, it was 3 figures to get a ticket.
Ooh, that's a bit much for a ticket.
And, you're talking about Peoria. We would have had to stay overnight. I'm not sure Carl appreciates Brad Williams' humor as much as I do.
And here's Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, everybody.
And well, I got a little bit of work done in the yard. I got the railroad ties moved away from the driveway out to the the well house where they're going to be needed as foundation for the metal building I've got to put up, so that I can finally rebuild all the plumbing inside the well house so that I can change the water filters while standing up instead of standing on my head.
Aren't you retired? Aren't you supposed to like hire people to do that?
Yeah, I'm retired, so means I've got to do it myself. I can't afford to pay people to do anything. Um,
Trust me, Emily, especially when people know you're retired, you're asked to do all sorts of shit.
yeah, they think
You're
you're made
retired.
out of money once you're retired, and no,
Mm,
That and well, you're retired. You're not doing anything. Why don't you take care of this and take care of that? Like, well, shit.
uh-huh.
I retired because I didn't want anyone to bother me.
I'm retired because I'm tired of working. Um,
I retired because I'm lazy, and my husband said he'd support me if I retired. I didn't mind being chauffeur though to my mom and my cousin Betty. Uh, it was well worth my time. I told my cousin, it would have been cheaper if she'd paid me by the time I was out. No, she would fill my tank with gas. If I took her grocery shopping, I put my stuff up there behind hers. She'd remove the thing between and pay for my groceries.
mm,
Yeah, uh, yeah, it was a good time. I got by on a grocery budget of about maybe $400 a month for 3 people because of her.
hey, um, talk to Lindsay. She'll teach you some extreme couponing tricks.
Oh, I got Meyer perks, honey.
Well, we went to our grocery store at least once during the last year, and basically, before she passed the coupons over, it was $200 worth of groceries. By the time the coupons rolled in and all the e-coupons rolled in, it was less than 90.
You have Kroger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kroger's got a new thing, a new e-coupon they just hit this last week. It's a never-ending coupon. You buy $100 worth of groceries, it's free delivery.
Wow. Yeah. And when can you get away with under $100 of groceries?
When my
I
wife was doing the coupons.
I walked out with enough stuff, the bags in two hands, carried out easily. It was over $100.
Yeah, we went to one of the small local grocery stores, walked out with about $30 worth of stuff. It was food for about a week and a half.
Yeah,
Unless
well,
I just sit there and eat everything in one go, which, you know, when I was younger, I was wont to do. Oh, food! Oh, there's no food when I get up the next morning.
well, with M perks, you get so many points per dollar spent. I think it's like 2 or something, 2 or 10. I don't remember. And then you redeem those for stuff like up to $10 off on your grocery cart. Of course, Carl got the Myers credit card, and every time he uses the credit card, both in the store or at the gas station, he gets points on that.
Mm-hmm.
I get points for my prescriptions, and every time he spends so much on his credit card, he gets a $10 coupon to take stuff up to use at the store, and it adds up.
It does. It does. And Lindsay's got something. She scans the receipts when she gets home
Yeah.
with either
Fetch.
her iPad or yeah, I think that's it.
Mhm.
And she'll get money back.
Mhm. I've got that
And
too.
apparently she's building up to where um, either Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner when we take mom out, ours will be free
Mhm.
because she's building up a card. She'll go up and pay the bill instead of me, and of course it'd probably be my turn to buy mom's. So
Yeah.
no big deal. I almost did it Mother's Day, but my foster brother Steven says no, 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 no. You and Timmy put your wallets away. I got mom this time. So
And
he
you
paid
said
for
okay, right?
sure, yeah. Uh, Steven's a good boy. He really is. And oh,
Uh,
A
he's very.
couple months ago, my mother was asking or talking about wanting a leaf blower so she could blow the grass off the sidewalk and stuff after the people who cut the yard go through and they don't clean up anything. And so I got her a little battery powered uh, leaf blower thing for Mother's Day. I got it early, and she got to play with it a couple times. But then she had her hip surgery, and now she's frustrated because uh, she's not allowed to go out yet and use her blower to blow off the grass.
got a new toy and can't use it. I don't know how that feels.
I also got her some notebooks and a really nice pen, a Scrivener pen. So I've got one there
Nice.
like this.
Mhm.
Got her a red one. She loves the thing.
Good.
Mm.
Well, Carl has been an absolute angel this week, playing Step and Fetch It for me. I I don't know what happened. Tuesday night in bed, I moved and it felt like I had a pitchfork put through my knee. And farm girl, I do know what that feels like.
Ouch.
And when I got up Tuesday, my knee was totally locked. I could barely hobble around. That sweet boy, instead of making me try to cook supper, went out and got supper at Arby's and brought it back in.
Mm.
And then Wednesday, I was hobbling around enough that I got to go to lunch with my best friend, and Carl went with me. And April is a nurse, so I got extra care there. But then Carl cooked spam for supper that night. He's a good guy. Fetching my water and stuff up and down the stairs so I didn't have to try it. I think I'll keep him a while.
Next
A
time he
little
brings
bit longer.
Arby's home, call me so I can come over.
Hmm.
And Aunt Donna, he's still under warranty. I mean, why would you get rid of him? Um,
Yeah, that's a nice warranty. What, 37 years?
hey, it ain't over yet.
Nope, not yet.
He asked for 50 to life. It's your job to give it to him.
Mm. Yep.
And the day after I cook steaks and whatnot for Lindsay and I, she comes up and says, "Well, when we get the new stove, you need to think about what you're going to cook first." And I'm just going, we used to share. Um,
She's just letting you be able to break it in. Just,
Hmm.
she
well,
just said
I'm
first.
I'm hoping break it is not the operative term. She wants one of those glass top things,
Oh, I
and
love
I'm going,
mine.
oh,
I love mine.
I'm going to have to be really careful with the cast iron pans from now on. As soon as I get the thing and unwire the old one and get it out and put the new one in, because it doesn't have our stove is hardwired into the electrical system. It doesn't have a plug. I'm
Hmm.
thinking strongly about changing that because
So you
you
have an
know,
electric stove now.
yeah,
Okay, so
it's just
you know of how to,
it's just about 15 years old,
but you know how to
and
cook on electric because that is vastly different.
oh yeah, I've been cooking on electric stoves pretty much all my life,
It gets weirder
and
once you get the glass thing.
the the glass top, yeah.
Yeah, my house came with the previous owner had a glass top, and that's so I inherited it. And I wish I had my old gas stove.
Well, they're actually ceramic, and they are stronger than you would think.
I
But
certainly hope so.
my mom got
Um,
one when I was in high school, so I've cooked on one long, long time. When we moved into this house, it had a gas stove. I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. Oh, wait a minute. When you turn it on, it doesn't turn on. Oh, and then the flame explodes on. Yeah, after a couple of months of that, Carl's like, okay, you get your new ceramic stove instead of that because it,
Hazard. Danger Will
it
Robinson.
well, I'm kind of known for my clumsiness, and I think he was afraid that the kitchen was going to blow up someday, which was probably a good possibility with that
I was
stove.
gonna say that's not an irrational fear.
No.
That actually happened to me. My ex actually, we when we first got married, I was in the army, and we got to live on base. And the gas stove was one of those new ones that you turn it on and it click, and it didn't have pilot light; it had electric pilot lights.
Mhm.
Well, she turned on the oven and it clicked, and then it stopped clicking, and so she was making the stuff, letting it heat up, making the stuff to put in the oven. And when she opened the door, it started clicking again, and it exploded and blew her across the kitchen.
Ooh.
Damn.
Shook the whole apartment. The whole apartment just shook. Um, I was on my knees thinking that there was an explosion other than the kitchen. About
Mhm.
like a tank shell had come through the kitchen or something. But then we had to call the fire department, and they evacuated everybody and had to make sure everything was okay. And of course, the army immediately replaced that stove.
Mhm. When we first got our double wide, I was informed by both my sisters-in-law, "It's your turn to do Thanksgiving," and I'm like, "No problem." Didn't know how to cook a turkey. I still don't know how to cook a turkey. But my mom would put a turkey in overnight. So she comes down, she fixes the turkey for me, she puts the water in, and the next morning we wake up to the smoke alarm going off.
Oh no.
And we go in there and there's smoke coming out of the oven of my almost brand new stove. And Carl makes the mistake of opening it and it goes boom.
Oh yeah.
Mom had put too much water in the turkey,
Oh,
and as the broth from the turkey got in, it
It bubbled
overflowed
over.
onto the electric coils, and that's what was causing the smoke. But of course, when he added the air, we got some flame.
Yep. The
Uh,
oxygen.
didn't need to cook the turkey too much longer, and I'll tell you, flame broiled turkey is pretty damn good.
Yeah, my brother's got one of those deep fryers big enough for a turkey,
Oh yeah.
And he did that one year, and he goes, you got to be really careful. If you don't do it exactly right, you drop the turkey into the hot oil to boil it to perfection, and everything explodes.
Mhm.
If it's a little bit frozen or got too much liquid, you're in trouble.
Liquid. Mhm.
Hmm I let him handle that. I let Lindsay handle putting like a large turkey breast or something like that in the oven because it's her area of expertise. I mean, I cook things over an open flame or I put them in a frying pan. That's the limit of what I could, or a crock pot. That's the limit of what I can do. Um, I know my limitations. I'm always willing to learn more. I've got about a dozen cookbooks over there. Um, she's going, why do you need so many cookbooks? I'm going, because I don't know how to do anything except what I learned as a child from watching my mom or watching my grandmothers or watching my aunt. My great aunt, her stove was cast iron, wood fired, coal fired,
Wow.
and she could bake a cake to perfection in that thing because she had been cooking on the same stove
For years.
since the 1920s. And this was the 1970s.
Hmm.
Um, there was no limit to that woman's talents except uh, she got a little bit silly in her old age. But then her sister, my grandmother, just looked at her and goes, "She's always been silly." Uh,
I was gonna say, don't we all?
yeah, um, if you can pan fry it or throw it on a grill, I can do it. The oven is one of those mysteries I have yet to solve.
Yeah. I solved that. I bought a new wave. It's one of those little convection type
Hmm
things,
Mhm.
and it's got this wonderful little guide. Oh, 3 pound turkey breast. Yep, so many minutes. Done.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
hmm
you don't have to watch it or anything.
Yeah.
No, I got Lindsay one of those air fryers,
Or first, nice.
and she said, "You show me how to use it." I go, "Okay." Let's see. We got chicken wings. Let's see. Cover the little bitty teeny tiny tray that's not big enough for two people with chicken wings. Put it in. Tell it it's chicken wings. It goes, "Hey, here's the recommended setting." You go, "Go." 10 minutes later, an alarm goes off, and it goes, "Hey, it's time to turn these over and put the lemon pepper or whatever it is on it." So I do that, put it back in. Alarm goes off again. "Hey, it's done." Pull it out. I'm going, this is going to be amazingly hard to clean. The chicken was done to perfection. I
Hmm.
mean, it was restaurant quality lemon pepper chicken.
Mhm.
She gave me the hint that I needed afterwards. Maybe you should take some parchment paper and put it in the little drawer before you put the chicken down so it doesn't make such a big mess. Um,
Yeah.
I took that to heart. Um, although she says it does absolutely perfect French fries, only she's British, they're chips. Um,
Hmm.
and they're steak cut. So,
Oh yeah, the good cut.
yeah.
The new wave does fries like that perfectly. That's what I like about it because we all know what a bad cook I am. I can actually make things in there and they're done.
Yeah, when the alarm goes off, you take them out and turn the damn thing off. Yeah.
Yeah,
One of
just
the
deep and like cool, it's done.
I got one of the big Ninja air fryers. It looks like almost like a toaster oven. Um, and I've experimented with that, cooking all kinds of things. And it went right after I got it. I thought, well, I wonder if I could cook like one of those family size lasagnas in that thing, like Stouffer's.
Mm-hmm.
Cooked it better than the oven. You put it in the oven, you're always going to burn the bottom. I put it in the air fryer thing and put it on the oven setting or to bake, and
Yeah.
it came out perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just big enough to squeeze that thing in there. It was like just big enough. But you could, if you wanted a bunch of chicken wings, you could do a bunch of chicken wings in it.
Yeah. Seeing as how this was the first air fryer we ever had, and we weren't sure if the technology had been proven yet.
Mm-hmm.
Still waiting. High and by. Um,
Yeah, serves you right, Don.
Yeah, I was.
how
I did,
dare you have fun without including Aunt Donna? Um,
I did a lot of experimenting when I first got it. I got mine off of Woot. It's like Amazon's place where they sell like a garage sale almost. And I got one. Got my daughter one of my daughters. Um, I've had mine for 4 years now, I think. Yeah,
I
pretty
can't
sure.
remember if I bought this thing because it was Lindsay's birthday or if it was a Christmas present. Because her birthday is in December, so you know,
Mm-hmm.
6 of one, half dozen of the other. Um, doesn't mean I did not go out and buy her another Christmas present. Um, I want to keep her. Um, she hasn't got too disgusted with me yet. Don't know why.
Yeah. The only thing with the new wave is that it doesn't brown stuff,
Mm.
but it's cooked perfectly. If you want to brown it, you can always just sear it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Try air fryer. You get it. It browns it. Deep fries it without oil.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, everything turns out so good in that thing. Almost everything.
We just had a somebody on a motorcycle go by, and I was just listening for when the wreck happened because they were going a little bit faster than anybody with brains would be riding a motorcycle on those curves. But,
Well, shoot, we've got a stoplight just half a block away, and idiots coming south. This is a 35-mile-an-hour zone because it's residential. And I know that by the time they hit the end of the block, my block, they're doing at least 50.
mm-hmm. If I didn't time going to work right, I mean, the time of the morning that I pulled out of the driveway to head up to the highway, um, there would always be this pickup truck behind me. And either they would pass me or they would sit just behind me like they wanted to go ahead and in flight hook up to my trailer hitch.
Oh boy.
Got to see them in the daylight one time during late spring. Was a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Figures.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just going, dude, you're in your civilian vehicle. Pass, slow down. Speed limit's 45. You're wanting to do 70,
Yeah.
and it's actually 35 in this dangerous is curve in front of our house because Lindsay asked one of her friends, who's a local politician, to hey, what? So he had the county put up 35-mile-an-hour signs on these dangerous curves. We've already had like 15 to 20 accidents in the front yard over
Wow.
the last 30 years. It's like every 2 years, somebody comes flying off the road. Yeah, sorry. My homeowner's insurance does not cover you being an idiot. So we had one guy. I'm sitting here. My desk is in a different place now. Before I could actually look out the window, and I heard engines roaring and tires squealing. Now look out the window, and here's somebody in a brand new car going sideways down the road, missing my mailbox by about 2 inches. And the
Dude.
next
Wow.
thing I heard was a big crash from my neighbor's front yard. They had flown off a 12-foot embankment and landed on a granite rock outcropping with their mother's brand new car.
Nice.
Shit.
Yeah. Uh, I had about 6 or 8 police cars show up shortly after that because I called 911.
Oh hell yeah. As you should.
And, I think there were 2 ambulances, only needed 1, but 2 showed up because might as well pad the bill.
Buddy system. Yeah.
And
Quota.
I don't know how much they had to pay, but somewhere in there was a bill for buying Mama a new car. I'm pretty sure. Because after that thing hit those rocks at that speed from that height, there wasn't any. I mean, it was U-shaped
Jeez.
on that rock.
I'm gonna go to bed.
All right,
Okay.
Emily.
Bye.
Thank you for being here.
See you tomorrow.
All
Bye.
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Guess you're
Tomorrow.
lucky they-
What's tomorrow?
Friday.
Friday.
What's happening on Friday?
Freedom.
So, you saw the picture of Carl with the droplets in his beard. There were more than what came through on the camera. And he thought that I had taken that picture just to take that picture. But you guys saw it before he did?
I haven't seen it yet, but then.
Must have been John.
Oh yeah, John is all over all the time. I get the feeling he's got Pentagon screens all over the wall.
We were watching comic book, whatever the hell we call it, CBS, and Jody McPhee and Eric Hawkins had both seen it, so of course they had to bring it up. And Carl's like, "She posted that picture? Well, damn straight I posted that picture."
I've got a traffic light. I'd say a block away. If you go the way the crow flies, because it's about diagonal from me, and people all the time out there with open headers or bikes without mufflers out there revving their engines as loud as they can while they're spinning the roadway. I don't understand that, but I never did something like that when I was young. I crazy. I don't get it, but
yeah.
This street that behind me is not only the main street through town. One of two that's only two that you can get totally through town, north and south. But it's also Illinois Route 1. So we've got a lot of semis there too, as well as idiots. And people, if somebody's with me or I'm on here, they get they think it's funny when I hear something behind me and I turn around and go, "Hey, so sorry about your penis, man. You got to make up for it with that car."
Yeah, I was remembering that when there's a guy that does videos in New Zealand, and his latest video was this Ford Ranger Raptor pickup truck, and he had got this custom made part for the air intake that would make it louder and give it a couple of more horsepower. And he revved it up and just recorded all that. And I'm just sitting there thinking of Aunt Donna going, sorry about your little penis, dude. Uh, Good, that's okay. I can say that. He's never going to discover that I've got a YouTube channel.
Trust me, Aunt Donna's dated a few of those guys, and I'm
Uh,
pretty. It's pretty spot on, yeah.
we're kind of lucky. The closest stoplight to us is like 7 miles away. There used to be one 6 miles in the opposite direction, but they replaced it with a roundabout,
Huh.
which,
Doesn't slow them down at all.
well, not the transfer truck that hopped over the middle of it. No.
Yeah, Danville was wanting to put a roundabout on Voorhees Street, which is one of the few east-west streets in Danville where you can get from Vermilion to clear out to the factories. And there was so much, no, we don't want one, that they put it further down Jackson Street. And it's a cute little roundabout, but I'm going, they get semis on Voorhees Street because they go from Vermilion to the factories. If they'd put that little bitty roundabout at Jackson or Voorhees like they wanted to, those semis would have been just like Dan said, just driving right over it because there's no way they could have gone around it. It's so small.
The one that they put in to replace the stoplight is entirely too small. It's just barely big enough for cars to go around. And
Wow.
it is on a major Georgia highway. So there are semis that have to go through there, and you can look. I mean, it wasn't even 2 weeks after they finished construction of it. There were bricks torn down around the outer wall of it where some truck trying to go around, and the trailer got up on top of it and started knocking stuff over.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really weird about all the complaints from the people in the county courthouse has been in the middle of a roundabout for 60 or 70 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have any problem with that. But put this other one in, and they go, oh, something new. We hate it. We hate it. We must kill it with fire. Or
Going around the
possibly
courthouse.
learn how to frickin' drive. Um,
Indiana's crazy about roundabouts. There's one road that we've had to go several times to go to a Muncie event where they're every so many, and we finally decided that they must have had a sale on roundabouts.
mm,
Buy one, get two free. But the worst, and I can't remember what city it's in Indiana, double roundabouts. Those are fun.
oh my God, I wish I could remember where it is. Um, there's one in England that is like There's a roundabout bordered by roundabouts, which are bordered by roundabouts. And I'm going, you know, I can admire the concept. This is why I don't drive in England.
Yes, yeah.
Steering wheels are on the wrong side of the car, cars are on the wrong side of the road, roundabouts, and pretty girls wear entirely too short skirts.
Yeah.
Oh, and the secondary roads, instead of being 2 lanes wide, they're a lane and a half wide with parking on each side. So you're going down this road, it's just barely enough room for a compact car. Somebody's coming the other way. The etiquette is, I do believe, and I'm only guessing just from logic, whoever reaches a place that can pull over first pulls over and lets the one that can't pull over go past and then pulls back out and resumes their trip.
And you're in deep doo doo if neither one of you can pull over.
You are. Somebody's got to back up, and there aren't any driveways to speak of. That's why everybody parks on the road. Almost nobody has a garage. If they've got a garage, it's too narrow to get a car in and open the door to get out of the car. It's like these things were made to be storage buildings, not garages.
Especially when you think that the older cars, even in England, were bigger.
Yep.
I look at some of the older houses around here, and they've got little bitty garages, and I'm like, that was built in the 20s. Think about the cars they drove in the 20s. There's no way in hell they could have gotten that car in that garage.
Yeah, you try fitting a 70 Impala in one of those garages. Not only would it not be long enough, it wouldn't be wide enough either.
Almost everybody in my neighborhood has a driveway, but almost nobody in the neighborhood parks in their driveway. They all park on the street, and it's a narrow one-way street. And then they'll, like at the end of the block here, they'll park on both sides, and nobody can get close to the curb. So their cars are every which way, and it's really fun. Since I've got a pickup truck now, and it's really fun trying to maneuver through there. Kind of scary.
A few years back, they voted to have parking only on one side of our street. We voted for parking on the north side of the street. It didn't go through. We are the only house on the street whose driveway does not face another driveway or an alleyway. We now have neighbors kind of cat corner who have a perfectly good, huge 2-car garage in back, a nice little parking area, and they park almost right in front of our driveway. Now they only, yeah.
I've got people parked right on both sides of my driveway. And my neighbor, I understand he has to because he can't really park in his driveway. But he gets pretty close sometimes. And then the people across the street, they'll start parking out on the street too. So even when I just had the car backing out was, I was always afraid to get somebody.
We finally convinced all the delivery drivers from whatever company and the mailman back into the driveway so you can pull out. This road is not safe to back into. Otherwise, you're going to get some youngster doing mortally fast, slamming into the side of you while you're trying to back out. So thankfully, they all have We even got a couple of drivers. We go, hey, if you need to turn around in the yard because this is your first time, that's perfectly fine. We don't want you backing into the road.
And getting hurt. Yeah. Fortunately, our drive is small coming in, but very soon it widens out, and we've got a huge parking area, and we can probably get 6 or 7 cars back there. So we've got plenty of room to turn the van around to go outside the front. The big problem is it's a small driveway at the mouth. We've been going over the curve because of the neighbors so much that it's breaking down, and we're hoping that if they ever come out to fix curbs, if that we can get them to widen that a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the argument's going to be if you build it back where it's going to be, we're only going to break it down again because we're going to be driving over it in order to get out, because it's not so bad if we're going right, but going left, their cars is always in the road.
With our driveway, it's so narrow. If you're coming in from the north, you have to go over and get into the oncoming lane to turn quick enough to keep from going into the ditch with your back tire.
Hmm.
There's almost no way to do it any other way. I mean, I've had oncoming traffic and I've done it, but I went into the yard and then into the driveway from there. And Lindsay's had more incidents than I can count where she's got the turn signal on, she's slowed down, she's about to pull over in the oncoming lane, and they pass her
Hmm.
from right on her bumper,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just going, well, if we have to pull it out of the ditch, we have to pull it out of the ditch. That's all I can say. Um, and she had been driving that 2002 Buick, which is about 50 feet long.
Well, when Mike Jimmy was talking about coming over to Hallowcon, he wants to get his driver's license so that he can drive in the States, and we're like, it's not that we want to discourage you. Just realize that people in the States take driving as a right instead of a privilege, and they're stupid about it.
Mm-hmm.
And a good probably 10% are driving without a license.
Now it's much safer coming in from the south because you're already in the lane you need to be in to be able to make a wide turn to get in the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And then driveway is just a little concrete strip.
Mm-hmm.
It's mm, if it's 30 yards long, I will be very surprised.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a patch that is, it started out covered in gravel. Now it's covered in leaves, and there's some gravel underneath, and I still have to mow it because crabgrass.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got Lindsay's Toyota sitting on the concrete, all well and good. My van sitting next to the concrete in the what used to be gravel lot, and then the Buick pulled way over next to the van. I've got to be so careful getting the van out of there in between the two cars. But I have discovered that if I park the Buick absolutely perfectly, I can just lock the steering wheel over to full circle and back up and not have to stop, pull up, go back, make it a 3-point turn. I can just go ahead and back it completely around, not hit any of the hedge plants or anything like that. But
Well, we should do exactly what you're doing to get in our drive. But like I say, it's kind of hard with that SUV sitting across the street.
mhm.
So we went over the curb, and we're wearing it down really nicely. And the cop just drove by, but he went on by, so I'm okay.
Now, one thing that I have noticed is that after God knows how long this house has been standing here, the mailman pulling up to the mailbox has worn about a 10-inch rut between the pavement and the
Hmm.
verge, as Lindsay calls it. Um, and when they repaved the road, there was all this loose gravel scattered everywhere, just a little pea gravel. I
Hmm.
went out there with a broom and a shovel, and I filled in the rut. It's not going to last long, but
But it's something.
the mailman just thanked me one day because it's like they pull across the concrete pad of our driveway and go boom boom as they drop down into that rut. But they don't have to do that anymore as long as I can keep it filled up. I thought seriously about go getting a couple of bags of Quickcrete and filling that in, but I know it would be maybe 5 years worth at best before driving across it turns it back into gravel and concrete chunks that's going to get strode everywhere, or mud and it just sinks down in there. Um, Georgia red clay absorbs rocks. Believe me, if they ever have a meteor down here, nobody will ever know. It'll just go splat.
I believe that.
Um,
You should get speed bumps in front of your house.
that's for the county to do, not me.
Well,
Um,
that's what I mean. You got them to put
Yeah.
the signs up. You them put some speed bumps out there too. Slow them
now
people
the
down.
guy wants to get reelected. He doesn't want any voters pissed off.
Well, after he gets reelected, he can do it. Save
Oh,
lives.
he's young enough to where it's career. So
Oh, it won't
besides,
matter.
he owns half the county anyway, or his family does. Still have to figure out who owns the other half. I think it's kind of spread about between the Madison County Mafia, and that's what I call the old farmers, because they will get together and they got together and blocked having different dirt roads paved because it's good enough for us, it's good enough for y'all. Um, it wasn't until one of the closest ones to the most recent paved crossroad that used to be a dirt road. It wasn't until he passed away that the county was actually able to go out there and pave that sucker.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking 30 to 45 years of my life that was a dirt road,
Hmm.
and he kept it that way. He's gone now, so it's a paved road now. Um, not too bad of one actually, except it's when you get on it in the wintertime, you slow down because every inch of it is a deer crossing. You do not want to be doing 50 or 60 miles an hour when half a dozen deer step out of the woods and stand in the middle of the damn road.
Yeah.
Uh,
We lived on a dirt road back on the farm, and I'll never forget. Of course, the river flooded every spring, but one year it flooded so badly. We're talking about a river that's like 12 to 15 feet below the bridge line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you stand on and look down. This was so high that there were a couple of idiots that went out in the middle of the bridge to look at it, and they were knee deep in rushing water.
Hmm.
And it left big, big holes in the road.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived across from a gravel pit, and it took over 100 dump trucks to fill those holes.
Wow.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. A friend of mine used to live way down a dirt road, and about quarter mile from his house, there's like a 6 or 8 foot metal culvert with a creek going through it underneath the road. We had enough rain one year to where water was about a foot deep across the road in that point, and we had to get to work. No excuse. We had to get to work.
Mhm.
So I'm driving across that. Thankfully, I'm in a pickup truck, and I kind of hung to the middle, and still, boom, boom, as we went across. The water had washed out most of the dirt across the top of the middle culvert.
Mhm.
They put in about a 8 foot diameter concrete culvert underneath after that. It took them 6 months, but it was the
Yeah.
next county. Um,
So this
they're all
was
city boys over there.
this was clear across that little valley. Fortunately, we lived on the hill, but we had stock in the not it wasn't a pasture, but it's just a little stockyard, and we did lose a cow, but we never admitted it to anybody when we heard that a cow had washed down the river into the dam and did some damage to the
No, we ain't missing none.
not ours.
Oh, Lord.
It was one of those, you're out, okay, we're one short, wonder whatever happened to it, and then a couple days later you read in the paper, oh, that's what happened to it.
Yeah, we
Oops.
never owned that cow. No, no, not us.
We had pools of water in that one field for about 2 or 3 years, and sand. I would take my little niece down to the beach, but the big pools of water were connected underneath the sand, and there was this one huge catfish in there that my dad was determined he was going to catch. And he got so frustrated that one time he went fishing for it with the shotgun. Yeah, he still didn't get it.
Mm.
I guess
No,
good thing you didn't see those little girls on YouTube. One little girl, she goes and sticks her whole arm down in the mud thing and comes out with a giant cat.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's a particular kind of fishing. What's that called?
Tickling.
Okay, that's not the word I was thinking of, but it works.
I just don't want to feed anything my body parts.
Yeah, we got enough alligators on golf courses around here where I ain't sticking my hand in nothing that ain't a public pool. Thank you very much.
Hey, you gotta watch those public pools too.
I don't even go near those anymore. Not in a long. The the fact is, everybody pees in them. Period. This one guy is like a rich guy. He put he had some kind of chemistry company, and he put this special stuff in the pool, and it was like for a joke. And he wanted to see who would pee in the pool. Everybody peed in the pool.
Mhm.
And then they started making a game of it. They're all laughing about it peeing in the pool, making the colors float around them.
Mhm.
There
Oh
People
were
no!
be
other things.
If
There
I
were other
probably
pursuits for
I
fools
got
that
a
I
person
indulged
that
in.
I can swim in my
Um,
bathroom. So
wouldn't be able to get away with it now that there's so many security cameras. But there was this
Yeah.
one young lady. Uh, mm, I enjoyed going to the pool, uh,
I don't
especially
swim,
when
so
nobody else was there. Ah,
I don't swim, so I don't go.
mm, I don't think I've been swimming in decades, but it was always fun when I did. But um,
yeah, it's been a long time since I have.
oh, there was a pool near the house in Clinton, and I think Mom signed us up for swimming lessons, and they had us jump in and try and swim around, and I I I did and got back out, and I go, well, they asked me, where'd you learn how to swim? I go, over on the lake. Daddy just threw me off the boat one time, told me if I drowned, he'd try and fish over my body.
Yeah.
That's, that's only partly true.
My
We
uncle,
we
Uncle
went
Pete,
camping on the lakeside, and Dad taught us how to swim in shallow waters. So
yeah, my Uncle Pete joined the Navy not knowing how to swim, and they actually do throw you in the water to teach you how to swim.
Yep.
No, but I have severe swimmer's ear, and after 2 years in a row of spending 2 weeks in the hospital with an earache, I'm like, I can avoid swimming from now on.
mm, there was, I think it was 1974, 1975. The marching band got invited to take part in a parade in Disney World. So the band and the majorettes and a lot of chaperones went on down to Florida. Hotel had a swimming pool. Everybody was in it. It was all fine and well and good. Um, I nowhere near Olympic level, but I could swim pretty well. And then got back out, got up to the hotel room, and I found out that I was just the right age to where my sinuses had opened up underwater.
Ooh,
So I stood over the sink for about 4 hours with water dripping out of my nose. Wasn't painful. It was just embarrassing as all get out. And I've been kind of reluctant to go swimming ever since, but I will. It's just I'm not turning flips underwater anymore. Um, no more imitating the creature from the Black Lagoon for me. Um,
yeah.
Well, one of the last places I swam was probably the uh, in Galveston on the beach in the Gulf, I think.
No, I love beaches. I just I'll go out knee length, but I swimming's not no, it's not a thing.
mm, no,
Not
too
worth
many
it.
horror stories.
Well, no, not worth the pain. I mean, you think just how severe an earache has to be to spend 2 weeks in a hospital.
Yeah, yeah,
That's been
you're right.
That's been almost 55 years ago at least, and I still remember how hard that hurt.
I bet.
I'm just thinking, you know, I've heard a lot about riptides, never want to experience one, and I've seen Jaws. Nope, I ain't getting more than knee deep. Um,
Galveston, we got little sharks and some medium sized sharks. They come right up in knee deep water.
Hmm. Okay, Carl. Dan's not going wading in Galveston.
You go out and people go out in their kayaks in the backwaters, um, on the other side of the island, and they'll get big sharks back there.
Mm.
They hunt them.
Sharks are very silky when you pet them. As long as you pet them from nose to tail, they're very silky. If you do the other way,
It's very rough, like a cat's tongue.
yeah, almost
Mhm.
like glass. Really, it feels like it could cut your hand.
Well, there were some cultures that would use shark skin as a form of sandpaper.
Yeah.
You
I can
know,
believe.
peeled and dried. I mean, not using the shark and then going, "Thank you, buddy," and letting it go. Uh,
That would be funny though.
yeah, really. Oh, I need to smooth off this board. Thank you, buddy. Oh, that reminds me of a very evil joke. No, I can't tell that here. It's not the green room, and it's really not good enough for the green room either. But I'm sure you know the one about the bear and the rabbit in the woods. So,
Mm.
uh, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, and I wasn't being brave when I petted the shark. Indy Zoo, when you go into their aquarium, at least they used to, had a small pool with these little sharks in them that you could. They'd been there so long you could just go up and pet them, and they would ask to be petted. They would like, come on, just like a cat would.
Weird.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go down the hall. I'll be right back.
So how's it going, Paul?
Oh well, I'm alive, I guess. Tired. Going to the doctors all week. That's fun. Other than that, um, trying to get some stuff done and I just haven't, you know, hadn't had the energy this week to do anything.
I understand that.
It's like if I sit down, I'll fall asleep. I can get up and drive, go to the doctor, I'm fine. As soon as I get home, sit down, I can't keep my eyes open. I'm half sleeping. I'm half sleeping sitting here now.
Well, it got down to in the 40s and 50s this week, which
Yeah.
was not helpful for my knee.
Oh, I bet not.
But yeah, I finally got back up in the 70s today. Like, let's stay this way, okay?
Yeah, right. The weather's been kind of like that here. We've had some warmer days, but then it's dropped pretty low a couple times too, and my back and neck, they just scream. My fingers.
I was this close to escaping Illinois weather. I was going to ask to be transferred with the company. Pardon me, with the company that I was with. I was going to ask to be transferred down to Tampa, Florida, because they had a shop down there, and my folks went to Homosassa Springs for the winter, so I would be pretty close to them. And then my friends convinced me to come to the bar one night, and I saw this strange man hitting on my friend. Went to save her and ended up married to him 3 months later. Damn state employee, so I was stuck.
I don't know about Florida. I guess it's nice enough. I just don't want to be on the Gulf Coast anymore. I wouldn't go down there. I had enough of I had enough hurricanes in Texas and Louisiana, and
Hmm.
uh, Florida gets hit more often than anywhere else. So no, thank you. um, just I just and I don't like being hot all the time. It's just
Yeah, I can stand it. And people who know about my Scandinavian background, I brag about being a Viking, go, why don't you like the cold? And I'm like, I come from those Vikings that went down and around and into the Mediterranean, looking for warmth, I'm sure. And I've got 11% Italian in me to prove that that happened.
right. I know it's amazing how almost everybody has a little Italian and Mediterranean. It's like I've got more of that than most things. And my grandfather was Irish and on one side, and Jewish converted to Methodist on the other side. We even have some Amish on my father's side of the family. That's
Hmm.
really strange. They have like this whole town in Minnesota. Um, Apparently, almost it's all Amish, and it's apparently almost everybody there is related to us somehow. I don't know. I was a kid when we went through
Hmm.
there. We didn't really talk to anybody because I mean, we were didn't fit the part, of course.
You
So
were you were English, I believe they say.
yeah,
We don't talk to the English unless we have to.
yeah, they'll deal with you if you're buying something from them.
Hmm. Oh yes,
But yeah, it was. I think that it was a town called Rice there in Minnesota, and
we
the
have
whole
a nice, pretty good sized Amish community here in not Danville, but Illinois,
yeah.
about an hour away, and they took their store out of Casey, Illinois. So I guess I'm gonna have to go down to Amish country to get my lemon marmalade. That's so good.
Ooh.
See if there's any Mennonites near you that have good stuff.
Nope, all ours are Amish. It's fun to watch them come to town too, to the big city of Chambana, and go to the stores.
Well, a lot of the Mennonites are previously Amish.
Hmm. Hello, Dan.
Hello. Don just sent a couple more photographs through Messenger.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll look tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, is Thesis still with us?
I don't know.
He hasn't said
Um,
anything since the beginning of the show.
well, he is. It's only like 10:15 there, but we don't know what his schedule is or anything else.
Oh, that's
He,
right. He's a young one and he still works.
hmm he and Foxy may have cashed in for the night. Um,
Or maybe he and Foxy cashed in for the night.
I think that was a multi-purpose statement. Yes.
I think I'm gonna cash in alone here in a minute. It's 12:15 and I am tired. I didn't realize it was this late.
Oh yeah,
What?
and this is just Thursday. I mean,
Hmm.
Oh, I've been across town like several times this week, and I haven't been able to sleep. on top of that, and it's just I'm kind of wore out this weekend. I don't know.
Mm.
Stuff I'd like to get done, but I've got chili to cook that I was going to cook today, and I was like, I can't do it. Tomorrow, I've got to cook it tomorrow. Or today, I guess today at this point. Later.
I may have to think of something else to cook for Lindsay this weekend because she's put up with a lot. I mean, she is married to me. But we have a few things, and I thought, ooh, there's this thing Mom used to do. I wonder if I could do something like that, and would she like it? Lindsay, not Mom. Mom doesn't like anything anybody else cooks. If she doesn't cook it, she's not eating it. Except at the restaurant. She went to a 14-ounce steak for a little bird-like 80-something-year-old woman. It's like, my God, Mom, that's more calories than you've had in the last 5 years.
Man,
got to make the best of it while you're there.
Amarillo, Texas, they have this restaurant where they have this giant steak, and if you can eat the whole thing, it's free. I can't remember. It's huge. I can't remember what it weighs, but there's like a little old lady, a picture of a little old lady. They said she was like late 70s, early 80s or something, and she ate the whole thing, the whole meal. You have to eat the whole meal.
Mm-hmm.
Potatoes, salad, and this giant steak. They said she ate all of it. She was a little thing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I used to be able to eat.
Mom's been not taking as good a care of herself since Dad passed away, and I understand. I mean, they were married for almost 50 years. But you know, it's been a long time, and I think Mom should start taking better care of herself, because even if she's bored, we need to keep her around, because there's a lot of wisdom there that she's yet to impart.
Yeah,
like how
I'm
to get
sorry,
my
I'm
like how to get my little brother to actually do some work instead of being a politician.
I'm just thinking of the wisdom my mother imparted to me.
Lay back and think of England.
No. That was her mother that said that. Lay back. It'll be over soon if you think about something else. And Mom said that Grandma, but it's more fun when you move. Of course, Grandma didn't know that Mom was too much pregnant with my oldest brother at the time either. That damned horse.
I was not going to bring that up.
I'd like to find out how to become a Ukrainian contractor before our government sends more money to them in a couple weeks.
What do you want to contract out as?
Somebody take some money. Guys over there. We just sent however many millions of dollars over there, or another billion or something, and but nobody got it. It just disappeared. What they're doing is they've got the little contractors over there, and their money's getting siphoned through them, and they've got and they go do what they want with all the money, but they don't do anything to help their government or the war effort or any of that stuff. So
yeah.
That answers your question.
Yep.
Thesis is still with us, and yep.
So we should all become Ukrainian contractors.
Take
our millions and run.
Actually, Them damn millions ought to be spent in this country. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I'm still waiting on the factory to go. Who knows how to use Excel? Where's Dan?
Just be glad it's not an AS400 or COBOL.
Oh,
I
hey,
don't know, Thesis. If she's on the horse, she doesn't have to move too much. Damn, I wish you'd never told me that.
giddy up.
It's funny, but yet that's really not something you want to know about your parents. Ah, God's lover.
Mm.
She was a pistol. She made me what
Oh,
I am.
remind me to tell you sometime about when Lindsay's oldest daughter found our toy box. The look of shock and horror. Her parents are actually kinkier than she is. Oh my god. Oh Lord. Uh,
I wouldn't know, Bladed, but my mother sure knew.
oh.
Uh,
Well, guys, I'm going to call it an evening. It's as always a pleasure talking to you.
okay.
Thank you for being here, Paul. You've made our night much better.
Oh, you
It's
did the
always
same
a
for me.
pleasure.
Did the same
Let
for
me
me.
know when you finish that one story because that's kind of what we're basing the anthology around.
Well, I'm the story I haven't shared with you yet. I started revising it, and then I started rewriting it, and I'm like, I wasn't supposed to rewrite it. I was just going to revise it, and then I just my days have just been insane since that. Getting sick last week, and then
Hmm.
all this other stuff.
That that's the danger of editing. You see things that, oh wow, I forgot to do this.
Well, it's
Or
a
hey,
very
this is a good idea I just had. Let me see if I can mix it in.
it's a very rough draft that I wrote 10 years ago, and it's not a bad story. It needs some help, and there are parts of it um, that that it stops being a story and it's more like stage directions. So the stage directions sound weird, so I've got to rewrite that part. But um, I just want it to be a good story. And then, of course, there's a story I shared um, with Donna, and I'm going to have to change some things in that. I don't think that'll be too bad, but um, I'm kind of wanting to do I kind of rather have the other story, but I, I will see how Aunt Donna likes the other story before we go any further than that. But I've got to do a little bit more revision and rewriting on it. I'm going to try not to rewrite the whole thing, but um, it's a good story. It just needs a little help. I wrote it a long time ago, so. And I look at things a little differently now. I'm looking at it going, wow, I was pretty dumb when I wrote that.
I'm
Well,
glad you saw
Not that I'm that
things
much
as
smarter
normal.
now. I'm not that much smarter now, but it's like I see things now. They're like, oh, okay. So my 10-year break wasn't, completely unproductive as far as, I do still read a lot and study a lot of stuff. So now I look at it and I go, oh, that was kind of bad. That was kind of dumb. Or this could be better. This could be worded better. This would sound better. And then I started thinking that I really got crazy this afternoon. I was thinking maybe I ought to switch the main character with the other character and go from that angle instead. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
okay, we have several people interested in being in the anthology.
Yeah.
So
I'll get it done. I promise. I'll try to quit procrastinating. I will eventually quit procrastinating.
Eventually.
That's okay. You know me.
Maybe tomorrow.
I'm the one who says I'd like to procrastinate, but I keep putting it off.
But yeah, I do plan on actually sitting my butt down here at the computer and fixing my story so that I can pass it on, and it will be a good story. I think.
Hmm.
I hope. Otherwise, if I get too stuck, I'm just gonna have to rip some stuff out of the other story that I shared with you already,
Hey,
and
whatever works, you know.
then it'd just be
Right.
a hundred or so words shorter, or probably not even that many. I didn't use that much of the song, really. It's just the parts that I did use are obviously from the song.
Hmm.
So
Oh.
anyway, y'all have a
Well, we've already got a publisher interested, so
cool. Wow,
Hey.
cool. All right,
yeah.
I'll get her done. I promise.
Okay.
We'll talk to y'all later.
See you.
All right. Good
Get
night,
rest.
Paul.
Good night. Good night, Thesis.
I think we're alone now.
Hmm.
Not that it's going to do me any good.
The thesis what?
Oh, guess what?
What?
She's home.
Hello. I
Hello.
just wanted to
Sweetie.
pop in and say everybody hi to everybody.
Are
So,
you exhausted?
yes. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. It was so funny.
I'll bet.
So it was fun meeting him. He talked a lot about disability in his show tonight. So I was like, oh,
He
so,
does that.
so yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know
fun.
if you've seen the YouTube about um, daddy issues.
Hi, Jesus.
It's
I don't remember if I have or not.
talking about how his father treated him growing up.
Set him on the shelf.
Yeah, Elf on the Shelf.
So he talked about it.
Yeah, he did this, he did that, and then he told the audience, "Don't you dare judge him, because he made me the man that I am, with the strength that I have, and he has just beat cancer, and there he is right there." Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We were the last ones in line because I knew I couldn't stand that long.
Mhm.
And so we were the last ones, and he still was like, "Hey, I hope you guys had a great night," and da 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 da. Da. And then the one opener, she was from Minnesota, so
So I'm glad you had a fun night.
I
Yeah,
did
really.
too. It was fun, but
I bet
I'm
you're
hurting now.
tired, though.
I'm
Yeah,
tired and I'm hurting.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Well, it
sitting
turns
in
out
those.
it's a good thing we didn't have tickets after what my knee went through this week.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Oof.
Oh, ladies,
Hmm.
my pension checks started arriving Tuesday,
Cool.
and
Congratulations.
I will know about my Social Security sometime in late June or mid July.
Do you know what that means, Don?
What?
Do you know what that means?
He's gonna be rolling in the dough.
He's gonna be having enough money to treat you and I come Hallowcon.
Either that or I'll get a hold of some ice cubes. No, I'm kidding.
I will treat you to the best food Megan can prepare.
So, well, I just wanted to stop in and say hey to you guys and let you know we made it home and it was a good show. Anybody listening or watching, if you have a chance to go see Brad Williams, just just do it. So,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna go pass out now. Go to sleep.
Okay, you get some rest.
Okay, see you guys tomorrow.
Bye
Good
bye.
night.
Bye.
So much for being alone.
When has that ever stopped us?
Hallowcon Dead Dog.
How come Dead Dog stopped everybody?
Yeah, really. Um, sorry, I've got to sleep now.
Yeah.
15 minutes later, hey, I'm awake. Um, oh God, there was always that LibertyCon where um, Lindsay and a friend had to frog march me to the hotel room and put me to bed. And by the time they got back to the con suite, I was there ahead of them. Oh Lord. Uh,
No. Really looking forward to this anthology. I've got like 7 people with definite yeses.
well, good.
Uh, Michaela and Brian are working on the logistics, and it will be put out under Michaela J Books, whatever,
Hmm.
which is fine with me.
Yeah, might make
They,
it easier to work out the contracts and everything because I know with anthologies they're really complicated as to percentages of this, that, and the other thing, and who gets what, and is it dependent on the word count or is it dependent on the individual story or whatever. It it's like they're all different. They're all done differently. Um,
that's where it's nice to having them on board with this, not only to put a couple of stories in the thing, but BKM has done so many anthologies,
He's
and
got the experience, yes.
for the
Um,
contracts, yeah. And I don't know if people are going to balk at that or what, but contracts are important to protect both my writers, to make sure that they get what's due to them, and to get it to them,
yes.
as well as
Uh,
protecting Michaela J. Books.
Hillbilly wants me to do an anthology of other people's spaceport bar stories from our shared universe from online.
Hmm.
And, you know, 2/3 of them I have no way to contact. You know, they're great stories I'd love to have, but
Hmm.
I can't use them if I can't get you a contract assigned to say it's okay to use this and so you can get paid for your work. And I'm
Hmm.
all about making sure everybody gets paid for their work. So I just don't know. Um, there's one guy that lives up near Mike Jimmy
Hmm.
in one of the other Scandinavian countries. Um,
Hi, baby.
I think he's Norwegian. I'm not sure, but I haven't heard from him for years, and I've been sending out emails to his last known email address and getting no reply whatsoever. So I don't know. It would be great. He's got a couple of novellas that would certainly be beneficial to the overall storyline of the anthology because it's
Oh, that's why you left.
with the shared universe stuff. Everybody's living in each other's pockets and everybody's making suggestions about somebody else's story and everybody contributes either critiques or oh okay here's how you can word that and it would be great but I don't know how to pull it off.
Say hi to Uncle Dan. Say hi,
Hello
Uncle Dan.
kitty. Hello kitty.
Oh shit, your strips.
You're not supposed to be able to pick that one up, are you?
No. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So
I
I
got it. I got another one getting used to being picked up. I picked up charcoal the other day, and I held her for almost 2 whole minutes, and she didn't struggle to get down. She just finally like, "Can I get down, Mom?" All right, okay. But coming from picking her up and her fighting to get down to sitting there for that long, I know 2 minutes doesn't sound that long, but for her that was a lifetime. And then not fighting to get down, just okay, I'm going to get down now. That's a big step forward for her.
I had Billy No Mates come up and jump to snuggle on one of my ankles last night. And Kimber goes, "Oh, I'm jealous," and flops over there and knocks the cat off the bed, crushing both of my legs at the same time. And then this morning, I woke up, Billy's right back, snuggling one of my ankles, and the dog is nowhere to be seen because Mama got up, food. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
she's all about mealtime.
Aren't we
Uh,
all?
well, especially since we had to put her on a diet. Otherwise,
True.
she's gonna have hip problems within a
Yeah.
couple of years. She's a big dog, but she's a little bit bigger than she needs to be for her age. So, and with shepherds, there's going to be a whole lot of, if you're overweight, you're going to have all kinds of hip problems and things like that that are going to hurt. So stop eating all the cat food.
Cat food's not good for you. Good for them anyway.
No, it's not. It's
But
not.
dogs will eat anything that doesn't eat them first.
I know, and um,
I got a cat like that.
Lindsay's been trying to keep from feeding her table scraps, which is also supposedly not good for dogs, but in the sense that you want them to live longer than 5 or 6 years, I would say so, yes. We had lots of bird dogs that we raised that ate nothing but dry dog food and table scraps their entire life,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
their
but
entire life was rather short.
when you feed them those, what are they called? Anyway, the dog food that you have to keep in the fridge,
Yeah.
a lot of that is human food.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, what's the difference between table scraps, as long as it's like, the meat or something, and doing something like that?
Um, when I was growing up, the the table scraps had an awful lot of uh, fats and things in it that wouldn't be good for anybody,
Hmm.
much less a
Yeah,
dog
but
or a
nowadays
cat.
you don't have that so much.
Oh Lord, no! It's just the dog will sit there. Lindsay will be trying to eat something, and the dog will be sitting there begging for a bite from Lindsay's plate. And you know, Lindsay, those those big sad eyes, she can't
Hmm.
resist. Maybe I should start doing that myself. Uh,
I never fed my cats table scraps. And then Carl came along with the 7 cats, and he would feed them bits of whatever meat we were eating.
mm-hmm.
So we, then they were gone, and then we got the new cats, and I'm like, please don't feed them table scraps like you did before. Don't, they. I don't want them begging. Yeah, right.
Like that's gonna work. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, they gather around his chair because they know Daddy's a soft touch.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly right, Thesis.
Mm-hmm. They know which
She,
one's a soft touch.
mm-hmm. That's why before we ever had any cats, and we had the two strays come up out of the woods, I told Lindsay, don't let them in the house. I know how I am. This will be a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
We went from 2 to 20 in 2 years. Uh,
Not in the house, though.
they were in the house. I
Uh,
mean, I mean, within 2 days of me telling Lindsay, don't let them in the house, I know how I am. Pets are one of my major weaknesses. I woke up in the lazy boy with both cats in my lap, purring away. And then one of them had 4 kittens, and the next year, those 4 kittens had enough to make the total about 20. Um, and the weird thing is, some of them from the second generation are still with us. They're getting on in years, but they're
mm-hmm.
still with us. And the third generation, uh, and then there's still cats coming up out of the. Hey, we heard Lindsay lives here. Uh,
Yeah.
we want we want some food. Uh, I'm I'm imagining what the cat version of hobo science is. Soft touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
That's
dear.
what I say. They're like the hobos that leave their little marks.
Hmm.
Get food here.
Oh, thesis. Eh, People grow and change. Um, yeah. Um, with Kimber, I was I was very much against having a big dog that thought they were a lap dog.
Now you're used to it.
No, I'm still against it, but I'm not going to chain her out in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, she thinks she's poodle sized, but she ain't. Um, she's as big as a damn deer, uh, and colored the same way too. And we can't let her outside during hunting season. Um,
Nope.
somebody will pop a cap in her really quick.
Funny thing about our cats, when we eat hamburgers, they want the melted cheese off the hamburger. They don't
Mm.
want the hamburger, and they prefer the white cheddar to the yellow cheddar.
Naturally, it's more expensive. Um,
Not when you buy the imitation.
Kraft white cheddar. No, no, no.
The little pre-wrapped slices.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I save
Um,
the good cheese for when I make like toasted cheese sandwiches.
oh, I've got some Irish cheddar in the fridge. I almost don't dare to cut myself off a little bit of it and bring it back here, because every animal in the house will be going, "Oh, can I have some of that?" I'm going, "Yeah, if
Mhm.
I let you have any, there wouldn't be any for me." Um, oh dear.
I got a surprise the other night. I love garlic bologna.
Yeah.
And Calvin comes up. He's like, "Mom, can I have some? Can I have some?" And I'm like, "Cats don't like garlic." So I take off just a little teeny bit, just so he could really so he could smell it and go ew. No, he ate it and then went, that's pretty good. Can I have some more? I don't think so. It's not good for you.
Get a job, go shopping. Uh, and the cat will. Um, didn't want a dog or any pets, discussed it and decided we didn't have room. Foxy goes out with her brother and comes back with a puppy. Hey, at least you ditched the brother. Uh,
she, oh, here, you have my brother and I'll take the puppy.
hey,
That's
sounds like a fair trade to me. Uh, oh,
Well, Carl was not a cat person when we met. He didn't hate them, he just wasn't a cat person. He'd always had dogs. Well, he had a 5-year-old daughter, and I'd had my cat for about 5 years. And I said, I'll accept your daughter if you accept mine. And that's how it was. Well, since we got married the Saturday after Thanksgiving, I was a secretary bookkeeper for a florist. Yeah, Christmas season, when I go in at 6 in the morning and work till 2 the next morning, I had a chance to go home on a break, and I walk in, and there's Carl sitting on the couch with Maylene like a little baby. And I'm like, oh, huh, I think you got take it in, didn't you? And I
got
swear
cat zapped.
they both looked embarrassed that they'd been found like that.
Hmm. Oh, and thesis. Right after I got divorced from my first wife, I used to joke, "Hey, I got a shotgun for my wife. Nice trade, huh?"
That's as
Oh,
bad as my wife ran away with my best friend, and I sure miss him.
hey, I have friends that actually can say that sincerely. Um, when I told him wasn't taking care of the dog while they were at school, refused to walk her or clean up after her because you didn't want one, I bet there's a punchline.
They get under your skin.
They do. They do. There's something about that absolute hero worship that they give you, whether you deserve
Dogs.
it or not.
With dogs.
Well, with cats too. I mean, with my cats anyway. And believe me, they're only my cats when they misbehave. Lindsay's made that perfectly clear.
Well, um, Carl and Maylene bonded over, of all things, canned pears.
Oh, okay.
I called home from work and asked how things were going because it was the first day he was alone with her. And he says, fine. He says, but she's sitting here staring at me. I'm like, well, what are you doing? He says, I'm having some canned pears. I said, oh, that's what's wrong. You need to give her some. And he's like, what? Yeah, Maylene Love. She would eat a whole half of a canned pear if you chopped it up for her. She loved
Hmm.
canned pears. He gave her some canned pears, and after that, whoa, that's my daddy.
Oh, thesis, I knew there was a punchline. Asshole to that
Hmm.
dog still looked at me like I was her whole world. She absolutely broke me down, and yes, that's what they do.
Hmm.
That
We
hey,
totally understand.
we have been training them to do that since we were cavemen, um,
They've been
and
training us.
cave women. Yes, they've been training us. Cats just walk up and go, "Hey, I noticed some mice in your barn. You want me to take care of that? I'll trade you hunting mice for a little bit of that mammoth steak." Um,
Uh, Carl was trying to get charcoal to the point where he could bring her in and he was outside feeding her when this little kitten came up and went, "Pick me up, love me, take me inside." And that's how
Hmm.
we got Calvin.
Yep. We've got one that is almost identical to Billy. I mean, coloring, size, everything. Temperament, they couldn't be any different. Um,
Hmm.
Billy will jump up in your lap and want to be petted and just snuggle up next to you. I can't get within 8 feet of Agate without him going, "Hup, out the door, going off the porch."
That's enough.
Yeah. No, I mean I can't even touch him.
Hmm.
I can't even put a food bowl down for him without him running away. He'll
Hmm.
come back as soon as I'm gone. Uh, but
I'm
the
still
only
having a bit of that with little BB.
yeah, the only one that Agate will even approach is Lindsay, and that's only when she's got food. So,
Yeah, and try that with five of them bladed, seven at one time,
hmm
and
uh,
both times it was all Carl's fault.
hey, um, you heard of three dog night? Yep, Lindsay finally learned the definition. Um, Cats, I live here now. This is mine. Yeah, you're gonna have to give up that pillow. No, I'm not. You're gonna have to snuggle. Uh,
Yeah, I have a plaque that has the 10 cat rules on it. And basically, if it does this, it's mine. If it does this, it's mine. If it does this, it's mine. All the way down to the 10th one. If it's broken, it's yours.
if if I knock it under the radiator, you have to fetch it for me. Uh,
Calvin will lay and paw under my chest of drawers in there. Like, I've lost something in there, Dad. Can you get out? And Carl will get down, pull the drawer out, and look under it, and there's not a damn thing back there. And Calvin just kind of looks at him like he's saying, "Ha ha, I made you look."
yeah, but even before the population explosion of cats, my family's had cats and dogs my entire life. Most of the dogs were bird dogs. They were working dogs. Um, the cats just kind of appeared suddenly and got rescued by somebody, usually mom. So I know exactly where I get it from.
Hmm.
And yeah, if it's got to do with dogs, I'll get it from dad. If it's got to do with cats, I'll get it from mom. Uh, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah,
I
well,
am my parents' child. Not the only one, but my sister has got this thing for the miniature Doberman Pinschers.
they're cute.
They are. She just absolutely adores them. And all of the, it seems like all of the men on my mom's side of the family just attracted um, terriers or whatnot, just, little bitty lap dogs.
Hmm.
Um, Occasionally there was a chihuahua mixed in there somewhere. I mean, those are uh,
Well, I can't say much because, like I say, Carl was not a cat person when we met. But when we started looking for the house, I made a comment about the local funeral home was for sale, and I'm like, he wouldn't want to buy and live in that. And the first comment out of his mouth was, "Well, if we lived there, we'd have enough room to bring the other cats in from off the porch." Okay. So when we couldn't get the funeral home and started looking at houses, he kept reminding me it's got to be big enough for all the cats. So when we found this one, it's like he's like, okay, this is big enough. We can bring them. So that's how we ended up with 7 cats. And every time somebody heard we have 7 cats, they'd look at me, and I'm like, not the crazy cat lady, crazy cat man. I just happen to live in the same house.
Yeah. Ours have self-selected. Some will not leave the chain link fence around the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Some will, but they'll come back every time it's feeding time because they know what time it is Lindsay feeds them.
Mm-hmm.
Some will not go inside the chain link fence. They'll live adjacent to the house, come up to be fed on the porch and whatnot. And a couple prefer to be inside the house. It's just they've self-selected. This is
Mm-hmm.
what we want. This is what we're willing to deal with. Don't push us any further.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. That's fine. Um, Seriously. Um, Now when I was growing up and we had the bird dogs and they were chained up to their doghouse or whatever because that was the thing back in the day. People have advanced a little bit since then,
Mm-hmm.
but I always felt sorry, um, especially in the winter time. But Dad would always go, "Hey, I don't care if it's going to cost me $5 on a bale of hay. I can't sell. We're busting this open. We're going to put it in the doghouse. We got this burlap bag that we can hang over the entrance so that heat stays in. Everything's fine." And I'm going, yes, yes, sir. Um, but I always felt sorry for him being outside, even though they were big dogs. Uh,
Um, on the
I don't know.
farm, our back porch was huge. It was big enough that we had a picnic table in there. Besides the washer and dryer and a couple other things, so it was nothing that the dogs would be in the back porch. After our landlady died, and we decided we couldn't get, Dad decided he couldn't get along with the man who bought the farm, and we moved. The back porch was decidedly smaller, and I had a German Shepherd. So Dad gets a doghouse. You know where the German Shepherd slept? On the back porch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he even went into that doghouse. But I figured it out. Mom had a clothesline, of course, in the backyard. I put a long chain on the end on the thing and brought the other end and hung it on a nail by the door. So when it was cold or raining, but Schultze wanted to go out, just clip him on that and let him.
Yeah, yeah. We've done that with a couple of. Matter of fact, we had a V-shaped dog run like that before I ever got the chain link fence, and actually, no, it was Y-shaped. I had 3 branches of the chain. Um, 2 of them ran off to pine trees in the side of the yard. One of them ran off to the little shed out back, and I quickly discovered that pine trees wave around in the breeze, uh,
Yeah.
so it had to move those. Kept the one on the little shed. Lindsay sometimes uses it as a clothesline, but we would go outside and um, big dog wants to run off to that pine tree over there. Click it on the long line. Um, Another one wanted to go that way. That's fine. Put it on the line to the shed. One just wants to go back and forth between the closest tree and the back door. Put it on the one to the other pine tree. Um, it worked out. I mean, there was successive
Mhm.
generations of dogs. There was the poodle that did not need a leash. You just he wanted to go out, open the door. He went out. 5 or 10 minutes later, scratch, scratch, back in the door. Um, up until the time that he was damn near 20 years old
Mhm.
and couldn't see anymore, and he'd wind up following the path of least resistance down into the ditch with all the kudzu,
Ooh.
and we had to go and rescue him time and time again. One time he went across the road into the other big ditch with the other kudzu, and I like to never found him. If he hadn't kept on barking, I'd have never found him.
Mm.
But I got him. I carried him back in my arms and going, honey, we can't let him out anymore without one of us having the other end of a leash. He
Mhm.
can't see. He don't know where he's going. We just have to do this, and that worked out just fine. Um,
Yeah, we had picnics when we lived on the farm, and one day he was gone. Pickaninnies will not find their way back home. They really have not a very good sense of smell. They don't even try.
mm,
Fortunately, he found his way into a neighbor's garage, wouldn't let them come near him, which was probably because they were kids and he wasn't really kid friendly.
mhm.
But yeah, we had to go get him, and Pekingese are strange dogs.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Well, I hate to do it, but we've reached the 2 hour line, so
Yep, time to say goodnight, Gracie.
we do need to say goodnight. Let me switch over to Brand here. Um, got the outro ready to play. Thank you very much for being here, Donna. Thank Don for being here. Thesis, thank you for being in the chat. Um, oh, somebody just made a comment.
That's just me.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
it hadn't shown up on the iPad yet, and I just went to Brand so I can do the end credits. So,
just
um,
telling Thesis night and
yep.
everybody night because I've got the show up on there to give you a watch.
Good night, everybody. Thank you
Night,
for being
everybody.
here, and we shall see you, some of you tomorrow, and some of you, if we're lucky, Saturday night. So, have a great time, have a great life, and enjoy everything while you still got time, because it's never going to come around again.
Transmission overload. System will shut down. overload. System will shut down. Transmission overload. System will shut down. Transmission overload. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.